Hi everyone, welcome to this video. My name is Bappy Hamed and I'm your host. So guys, I'm going to start a very important Python concept called object-oriented programming, because so far we have completed like so many things inside Python. If you check, so far we have completed till functional programming inside Python, and now we'll be starting with advanced concept inside Python, which is nothing but OOP, that means object oriented programming. Maybe you have heard of this particular name, okay? But what is OOP? I will give you each and every idea. So if you don't know about OOP, no need to worry. So each and everything would be clear from this particular playlist itself. And trust me, guys, this is super important concept in a programming. It's not about only Python programming. In every programming language, you will see this particular OOP concept, and it will really help you whenever you will be creating real world application, like you will be creating, let's say, a bigger application. This concept will help you a lot. So before starting with this object oriented programming inside Python, first of all, I want to share one real world experience from my side, because I already told you I already have so many years of experience in the development. I already work with so many development team. Even I already develop lots of product. So I'll give you one actually real world experience from my side, why this object oriented programming is super important and how it helped me. Okay, that time. Then I think this would be more clear. Then I will start with the concept of the object oriented programming. Okay, because I know as a beginner you will have the question. Let's say so far we have learned till functional programming inside Python, and with the help of function we can create different module of our program, right? You are completely right. You can also use functional programming to create your application. There is no issue, but still there would be different problem actually will face whenever you'll be using functional programming. So that is what actually I want to share. Okay, that is what I want to share from my experience. Actually, I also faced, okay, in the industry. So for this, let's open up our Blackboard and let me show you, okay, what was the problem actually I was facing there. So guys, I still remember around 4 years back, I was working on a project called a firefighter robot. Okay, if you check my background, actually I'm from electronics background. I completed my graduation in electronics engineering, and previously I used to work in the field of robotics and I used to program robot there. So search my name on Google, Bappy Hamed Bappy. You will see my LinkedIn profile. Now here you will see each and everything about me, like what is my experience and all. So everything, it is available, okay, in my LinkedIn profile. I have added. So in my LinkedIn profile, you will see I already work with so many robotics project. Even I also added the link of the particular project in my profile. If you're interested, you can also open it and you can check it out from your side, right? All right. Now see, I still remember in this particular project, I had written around 5,000 line of code. Okay, 5,000 line of code. Okay, to complete this particular project. Now just try to think, whenever I'm creating firefighter robot, so what are the functionality I can include in the firefighter robot? Okay, so let's say this is the firefighter robot. So in a firefighter robot, actually I can integrate so many functionality. So let's say there would be a head of the robot, there would be eye of the robot. Okay, because robot can also see. Okay, with the help of camera, actually you can implement the eye module. Then let's say it has hand functionality, it has leg functionality. Let's say it has like a sensors functionality. Okay, like different sensors are integrated. Like whenever fire would be there, it will detect that particular fire. Wherever any gas should be there, it will also detect that particular gas, right? So these are the sensor actually I also integrated. Now let's say there is a final actually component I have added, which is nothing but the brain of the robot. Okay, brain. Fine. This is the controller. It will control everything. So as of now, just try to consider these are the functionality I implemented inside that particular robot. Then what I did actually, I used actually functional programming to implement these are the component one by one. So what I did, I just created different function for different components. So let's say first of all, for head, I created a function. Let's say def head. Okay, so head is a function. And inside that I written the code related head, like how head will be working, how it will move. Okay, everything I had written. Now for the eye also, I had created another function. Let's say def eye. Okay, and inside that I just written eye related code. Now for hand, I created another function, def hand. Okay, hand. Now inside hand, I just created hand related code. Now for leg, I created another function, for leg, and for leg operation I written some of the code here. Now for sensors I created another function, sorry, def sensors, and for sensor operation I created some of the code. Now for brain I created another function, and I written brain related code here. Okay, so this was my approach to solve this particular problem statement. Actually I received from that particular industry. So now I think you can see it's completely fine. I can implement this particular project like that in a functional way. There is no issue because I created different module. You can see head module, eye module, hand module, leg module, sensor module, brain module. And if I combine all of them together, I can create a firefighter robot. Okay, fine. But the main challenge actually I got whenever they told me to create another robot. Actually, let's say this is robot 1. Let's say this is robot 1. Firefighter robot 1. Fine. Now they told me just to get another firefighter robot. So what I will do, I'll just try to copy the same functionality as it is. Okay, I just copy pasted this one here because I don't want to write again. See, then they told me to create another robot which will have the same functionality. Let me just write as a robot 2. Okay, it would be robot 2. And they told me this particular robot 1 will be able to control this robot 2. That means I have to write all the functionality of the robot 2 inside robot 1. Okay, that is what actually they told me. So then what I started, I again followed that particular functional approach. Then I started again creating different functions, okay, for different actually component. So let me just copy paste again. Now see, I implemented in that way. Now one issue I think you will observe, see, whenever I created robot 2 functionality and I created all the component one by one, okay, with the help of function, this will actually mismatch together. You can see this is my robot 1 functionality called head. Okay, the robot 2 functionality I created another head, it is here. Now I think you know inside inside one file I can't define 2 head. Okay, I can't define the same name of a function. It's not possible. Okay, if you're defining same name, it's not possible. Okay, you have to use a different name. Okay, but there is a condition. I have to add function robot 2 functionality inside robot 1. Okay, inside robot 1. So I had to write in that way. Okay, so I was facing this kinds of issue. That means I was not able to write robot 2 functionality inside robot 2 because you can see all the actually component is missing. All the functionality is missing, right? You can see robot 2 is having also the same functionality, head, eye, hand, leg, sensor, brain. So I can't create the same function again. Okay, inside that particular same file. It's not possible. I can't create the same functionality again. Okay, I think you are getting what I'm trying to say. Then actually I stuck in this particular project and I was thinking how I can solve this particular problem statement. Okay, how I can solve this particular problem statement because I have to repeat this particular function again inside of one file. It's not possible here. I can mismatch the function. Okay, and if I'm somehow mismatching the function, let's say I'm giving head 1 or let's say head 2, head I2. Okay, that's how. Let's say I'm giving hand 2. That means this is the robot 2 related functionality. Okay, let's say somehow I'm giving in that way. So what will happen? I'm creating so many functions in just one line. Let's say after 6 months, my company will tell me, just try to fix this particular function again. So what I have to do, I have to come here and I have to check that particular function. So it would be very hard for me to figure that particular function. And again, you are writing the same code. So it is possible to mismatch the code. It is possible to, let's say, conflict the code together. Okay, but I don't want to take this particular risk. Now, let's say there might be another condition. Your company will tell you, just try to create another robot called robot 3, robot 4, robot 5, and so on. So you have to again repeat this at the function. Okay, just try to think how many line of code, how many function you have to create in just one file. So here the code management would be really hard for you. Okay, the code management would be really hard for you if you're writing the code in that way, in a functional way. Okay, so that time actually I heard of something called OP. Okay, object oriented programming, OP. Okay, inside Python. So as I already told you, the full form of OP is object oriented programming. Now I was a little curious about the OP. Like I just heard this OP is like very powerful and we can actually solve these kinds of problem very easily, okay, with the help of OP. Then I started learning OP. Then after learning OP, I got one amazing idea to solve this particular problem. Okay, I was just very happy because of this particular OOP. And that time I was thinking it's like very easy concept, and it's like very efficient concept we can use whenever we are trying to create any kinds of big application, whenever we're trying to create any kinds of real world application. Okay, instead of functional programming, if we are using this particular OOP concept, it would be really easy for us to manage our code base. Okay, so what I did there, after learning OP concept, there is a concept called class. Okay, class inside actually object-oriented programming. That means you can create different class. Instead of creating like different function, what you can do, you can create a different class, and inside class you can create different method, which is also considered as a function. Okay, but whatever function we write in a class, this is called method. Inside OP we call it as a method. Okay, not a function. See, in our world actually everything is an entity. Let's say if I'm talking about robot. Okay, robot is an entity, yes or no? It's an entity. Okay, entity. Then if I'm talking about human, okay, human is also an entity. This is a machine entity. Okay, this is a machine entity, this is a person entity. Okay, and animal also an entity. Okay, animal also entity. What kinds of entity? They're animal class. Okay, they're animal class. They're not related to human class or robot class. That means we can also call them as a class. Okay, we can also call them as a class. Okay, different class. So robot class, human class, animal class, yes or no? So this OP programming concept has taken from the real world only. So those who develop this particular OP concept, they consider, okay, in our world actually everything is an entity. So I can use this particular concept and I can create a very like efficient programming paradigm, okay, with the help of OP concept. Now see here, instead of writing the functional programming inside OP programming, what you have to do, you have to return a class. Okay, so what I did, I just written a class. Let's say class robot. Okay, robot 1. Okay, robot 1 is my first class. Okay, inside robot 1, how many functionality I had? I think remember we had head function, eye function, hand function, leg function, sensor function. Let me write. Let's say I had head function. Okay, I had leg function, I had eye function. Okay, I had, let's say, brain function, and so on. Just consider all of the function I written previously, right? What I did, I created another class called class robot. Okay, robot 2. Inside robot 2, again I created all the function. I have related robot 2, let's say head. Then I have, let's say, leg. Okay, then I have, let's say, eye. Okay, then I have, let's say, brain. Now one thing I think you can see, this function is not getting overlapped together because it is present inside robot 1 and it is present inside robot 2. Now let's say if I want to access robot 1 head, so how I will access? I'll just simply write robot. Okay, robot 1. Okay, so robot 1 I will store as an object. Okay, I'll also like discuss what is object inside object-oriented programming. Like you already see the name, right? Object-oriented programming. So there is a relationship, okay, between object and class. I'll also show you the difference between object and class. Okay, what is an object and what is a class actually. As of now, just try to get it. If I want to access robot 1 functionality, first of all, I have to create an object. Okay, object of robot 1. Okay, object of robot 1. Let's say now I'll just write object dot head. Let's say I want to access this particular head function. Okay, head. Now if I execute this code, it will access my robot 1 head. Now let's say I want to access robot 2 head. What I will do, I'll create another object. Let's say obj is equal to robot. Okay, robot 2. And I will call, let's say this is object 1, this is object 2. Okay, now I'll just write object 2 dot head. Fine. Now it will execute my robot 2 head functionality. Now one thing I think you can see, this particular 2 code base is completely different. Okay, completely is different because here I have created class 1, because here I have created class robot 1 and here I have created class robot 2. And whenever I want to access something from robot 1, I can initialize an object. And whenever I can whenever I want to access anything from the robot 2, I can create another object. Okay, that's how I can separate out the same function. Okay, that's how I can separate out the same function. Okay, I hope you got it. And now if I'm getting the task, let's say I also need to create robot 3, robot 4, and so on. Easily I can create. What I will do, I'll again write a class. Let's say I'll copy, and here I'm going to paste. Let's say again I'll just write a class called robot 3. Okay, robot 3. Again I can write a class, let's say robot 4. Okay, robot 4, and so on. Okay, and so on. You can create as much as class you can right now, because here you are creating separate class. Okay, separate class. Inside separate class you are creating the function, and this particular function is separated from each other, although they're same function, but it is separated inside a different class. Now tell me, which one approach is good, this functional approach or this particular class approach? Just pause the video and let me know. Okay, just try to think. It's like very easy to organize my code right now. Now let's say your company is telling, just try to let's say add some more functionality in robot 1. What you will do, you will come inside robot 1 and you will add more functionality here. Okay, but previously if your company tell you try to add some more functionality inside robot 1, how will do, because all the function are same at the end. Okay, so here again you need to create with some other name, and you can like somehow add the functionality, but again the code management would be very hard for you, so it's not a recommended way, right? So that's why this OP helps us to write our code in a very efficient way, and it's like very powerful concept inside Python. Okay, so far whatever functional programming you have learned, it's completely fine. Okay, it's completely fine. If you have any easy problem statement, you can solve with the help of functional programming. But whenever you are working in the real world application, whenever you are creating a very big application, you also need to think the future of that particular application. Let's say in future I want to add some more functionality. Let's say I'm talking about Facebook is day by day they are updating in their software, they're adding new functionality. So Facebook is also using the, let's say, object oriented programming concept. So they are creating different class. Let's say in future I want to create another class. The class name should be human. Okay, class name is a human. Okay, let's say my robot will try to interact with the human. I'll create a human. Okay, inside human I'll create some functionality. Okay, I'll create some functionality. Now you'll see it's a different entity right now. Okay, so I don't need to write all the functionality related human inside my robot code. Okay, inside my robot functionality, because I have an option. I can create a different class, and inside that I can mention different functionality of the human. So let me give you a very good example. Let's say there is two person, let's say Bappy. Okay, and there is another person, let's say Alex. Okay, now person is also entity. Okay, person is also entity or class. Now what I will do, I'll just try to create a class. Let's say class Bappy. Okay, and class Alex. Okay, now Bappy will have what? Bappy will have eye. Bappy will have mouth. Okay, Bappy will have, let's say, hand. Okay, hand. Bappy will have leg. Alex is also having the same, let's say, component. Let's say eye, let's say mouth. Okay, then hand, and then leg. Okay, that's how we can see both are same entity. Okay, but I'm defining in a separate class name. Okay, I'm defining a separate class name. Now let's say if you're using functional approach, so what you have to do, we have to add these are the functionality inside here only, and after doing it you will see that this function will mismatch together. Now you won't be getting like which one is the eye of the Bappy, which one is the eye of the Alex. Okay, that's the idea. I hope you got it. So that's how, with the help of OP programming, we can actually manage our code base in a very easy way. Okay, and we can create our application in a very efficient way. So let's say if I want to add something in the future, I can easily do it. Okay, so that's why it's always recommended to use OP concept whenever you are creating any real world application. And there are some more features you will get from the OP. Like there are some more functionality actually will get. So let me give you one real-time example. Let's say, I think you have heard of the Kali Linux, guys. I think you know what is Kali Linux, right? So after this demo, I think you will automatically get why OP is important. Okay, OP is important. So Kali Linux is nothing but it's a Linux distribution. Okay, and inside Linux actually we are having different actually distribution. Like we are having Ubuntu, we are having, let's say, CentOS, we are having, let's say, Alpine, different actually distribution you will get inside Linux operating system, right? So Kali is one of them. Okay, now you just tell me why Kali is so popular. Just pause the video and let me know why Kali is so popular. I think you got it. Kali is popular because of the hacking. Because if you see, those who actually works in the cyber security, or let's say hacking domain, they use this particular actually distribution like Kali operating system they will be using, because inside Kali, hacking related all the tools would be like default installed. Okay, it will let's say whatever actually tool you need for the hacking, everything would be present inside Kali operating system. That means you don't need to additionally, let's say, install anything here. So it will give you all the functionality related hacking. Okay, I hope you got it. But if you're a hacker, you can also hack from the Windows machine. You can also hack from the, let's say, Mac based machine. Yes or no? You can do it. But if you're using Windows Mac based machine, so what will happen? You have to install those are the tools separately. That means you have to set up everything from scratch there, right? But if you're using Kali Linux, what you have to do? You don't need to install them separately. The functionality already there. You only will be using that particular tools and technology. Yes or no? That's why hacker will prefer this particular Kali Linux. Okay, if they want to hack, not about Windows, not about Mac operating system. Okay, I hope you got it. So similar wise, inside programming, okay, inside programming, you can write the code with the help of functional programming. It's fine. Okay, but if you're using OOP concept, that means object-oriented programming, it will give you some more functionality to write your code in a very efficient way, to manage your code base in a very efficient way. So that's why all the developer prefers this particular OOP concept, because all the functionality, okay, all the functionality related to the code management, the code security, okay, inheritance, abstraction, all the functionality will get inside OP. Okay, inside OP. So you don't need to write anything from scratch there. Okay, it's not required. So this is one very good example I can give you. Now I think it is clear why OP concept is super important. Okay, you can solve anything with the functional programming, but you have to write the code from scratch for the security, for the abstraction, for the inheritance, right? And for the code management. But if you're using OP, you don't need to do anything. OP will automatically take care of this part. Okay, and inside OP you will get different functionality. Like we'll be learning so many concepts inside OP. So let me show you some of the OP concept actually we'll be learning. So guys, you can see inside OP we'll be learning something called class and object. Because first of all, we have to understand this class and object, because many of you will get confused what is class and what is an object inside OP. Then after that we'll be learning something called abstraction, polymorphism, encapsulation, inheritance. Okay, these are the very super important concepts inside OP, and these are the concepts will give you lots of power, okay, during write your code. And you'll see that whenever you'll be learning, these are the functionality, these are the, let's say, topic, you'll be enjoying a lot. Okay, and you will think like, okay, so this is the programming I was looking for, and this is the concept I was looking for, and with the help of that I can easily manage my code base, and I can easily create a very big software, okay, without any kinds of hesitation, without any kinds of problem. Okay, so in a summary, OP nothing but it's a programming paradigm. It helps us to write efficient and optimized code, and it also helps us to manage our code base, and it will also give you some more functionality whenever you are trying to create any kinds of real world product, real world software, okay, or any bigger application. Now I think you got it. Okay, what is OP inside Python, and why it is so important? Fine. Before ending the video, I just wanted to show you all the real world application using this particular OP concept. Let me show you one of the project implementation. Let's say if I'm search for PyTorch. Okay, PyTorch is a actually library, deep learning library, and it is an open source library from the Meta AI. So they have developed this particular, let's say, library. Now if you see their code implementation, let's say if I go to the PyTorch and if I show you their code implementation, let's say I'll open up any kinds of function. Now here you will see they're using class concept. Okay, they're using class concept. If you open up any kinds of function, okay, any kinds of code, you will see they're using class concept. See, they're using class concept. Okay, so this is called, they're using object-oriented programming concept here. So we'll be also learning these kinds of implementation. Okay, how we can do. I will show you one very good example in this particular playlist. We'll be creating one banking application with the help of, we'll be understanding this particular OP concept. Because see, OP is all about actually practical understanding. Okay, it's not about theoretical understanding. Okay, if you deep dive in the theory, definitely will get confused. So OP always you need to understand as a practical way. Okay, whenever you will be do the practical OP, this particular concept would be more clear in your mind. Because I have seen many learners, they won't be able to clear with this particular OP concept because of the they will try to understand the theoretical concept of OP instead of writing the practical. Okay, instead of understanding the practical. So I'll make sure I will give you the proper practical, okay, proper, let's say, practical understanding. I will show you a real-time demo so that this particular concept will be more clear in your mind. Okay, and this is my promise, guys. If you complete this particular playlist, you will become champion inside Python. Even you will be also become champion inside object-oriented programming, and you won't be having any kinds of doubt, okay, inside this particular concept. So yes, this is all about from this particular video. So in the next video, we'll try to understand this class and object inside OP. So we'll try to understand the difference between class and object. Then after that, we'll try to discuss abstraction, polymorphism, encapsulation, and inheritance concept as well. Okay. So with that, thank you so much for watching this particular video, and I will see you next time.